Let us discuss 05, that is 5th September 2015 newspaper. In this, the idea of reservations let us try to explore. Now, it is this article from sociology perspective it tries to look into the reservations. The idea of reservations has come into existence to repudiate or to decrease the impact of the religiously sanctioned oppression in Hindu religion on the caste. Because the Hindu religion is divided into Varna system with a clear hierarchy of the caste, and over a period of time this caste is also involved with various occupations to be carried out. So it means the reservation system was more a solution to create a formally equal society, and this formally equal society is to strengthen the nationhood in the country. Now, today, the economic backwardness is also being stressed as an important criteria to bring in reservations. On the other hand, if you further see, over a period of time, certain category of the caste who has got the political support or political strength wanted to transform their strength into reservations. For them, the reservation is more a welfare benefit. So it means some people see it as just a welfare benefit. So they want to gain this welfare benefit from as like the other caste too. So this is Patidar movement or Patel community movement. So it can be better classified as a view of seeing the reservations as a welfare movement. So in the case, a financially strong, politically significant groups, they go to convert their political presence into a welfare benefit to the community. Now in this context, let us see the various arguments. So the first one is general category versus reserved category. So now the general category, it means many people have a misconception that it is reserved for the upper category. General category is an open lot, anyone can compete. The idea is this: the empowered people who are being reserved, over a period of time, they shall get access to this general category. So an upward movement has to occur with regard to their particular claim to the services or to the opportunities. Slowly then, the reservations itself becomes insignificant. Now in this case, the argument that the general category has, the reserved category shall not allowed into the general category itself is flawed. And the second thing is, what are the reasons for the demand for reservations? Why is it increasing? So now, there are certain inbuilt structural advantages for various communities. If you talk about Patels in Reddys and Chaudharys in Andhra Pradesh, they are something called as inbuilt structural advantages because of the control over the productive assets and also because of their political power. They are able to still corner the benefits. But as the competition has increased and the structural benefits started decreasing because of the change of the structure of the employment too. Because these people enjoyed the control over the agriculture, but agriculture's role itself has decreased recently. So this inbuilt structural advantages are shifting away from them. So they have to find a space in this competitive world through better education. So now, the next thing is the caste pride. So there is a perceived social distance. It means an upper caste and a lower caste person, the difference between them can be described as a perceived social distance. Now, as the upward migration of the lower caste happening, this perceived social distance is decreasing. So this is more seen as a loss of a caste pride. And next is caste and class overlap. Now if you take Patels themselves, so there are many, the caste overlaps with them. Multiple classes over here, upper, middle and lower income groups. Everyone are there in the spectrum of these classes. Now in this context, the caste identity is providing for an economic benefit to different groups or economic interrelation between these people. It is further leading to the strengthening of caste identity and financing of these particular movements. And another thing is the developmental model itself. So the market-led developmental model, what happened? There is killing of small and medium enterprises. Because of this, the many of the people who are dependent on them, they became jobless. So this is another reason for the growth of the reservation demand. So this is what is the essence of this article. And the next is 7th pay commission. Now there are some arguments over here which we have to listen very carefully. So this is very critical with regard to your governance chapter. What the 7th pay commission talks about, now it wanted to increase the salaries, that's what the pay commissions do. Now in this context, the first argument is government is not downsizing itself. Without downsizing, increasing the salaries and the pensions of the people, it is going to worsen the scenario and the physical condition of the government. Now, let us see to what extent this claim is true. So it is burdensome on the government. Yes, to an extent it is true. In the first year, it may appear high. But over a period of time, the economy absorbs the shock of increasing this particular hike in salaries. If you take, for example, the pay and allowances, pensions in the central government, in 2001 and 2, they are 1.9% of the GDP. Now, when the 6th pay commission has come 2009-10, or else 2.3% of the GDP, and over a period of time, that is, they are reduced to 1.8% of the GDP. It means that immediately in the first 2 years it may be burdensome, but over a period of time it is going to come down. And the second thing is the salaries of the higher level employees, senior administrative grade, higher administrative grade, junior administrative grade. When you take this particular All India services, you have to compare it with the private market. So in the private market of the similar level employees, they are getting a huge salary. And the salary differential demotivates the employees to work for the government. If you want to catch the bright minds, bright perks are also necessary. And third comment is, at the low levels of the government, the salaries are too high when compared to the open market. Now here government has max to minimal ratio. It means in the 6th pay commission, the difference between highest paid employee and lowest paid employee shall not be more than 12:1. That is maximum and minimum head to tail ratio, we also call it as. So now the government shall act as a model employer. So based on this, the salaries were high for the lower employees. The private sector is not well paying them. It means that they have to be brought to pay the salaries to these particular employees over there. And the next is downsizing. If you talk about the need of the hour in India is not downsizing, it is right sizing. Because there are critical deficiencies in many of the sectors where the government is performing. And functions of the government is increasing. But the amount of the number of the employees is not increasing. Already the share of the expenditure done towards the employees in the total size of the economy is decreasing. That it one way is a kind of a downsizing. Now what the governments need to do is they have to recruit more doctors, engineers, etc. who are necessary to provide for the services. And fifth complaint generally which comes is the private sectors are more productive and their salaries are related to the productivity which do not happen in the government sector. Now understand, the Thomas Piketty, he wrote a book that is called as Capital in 21st Century. If you get time, please try to read this book. So he has clearly said it is a myth. The private sector functioning only on the basis of productivity and salaries in relation to the productivity, it is a myth. Now in this context, understand, Google, Accenture, these Fortune 500 companies, they themselves are shifting away from this particular productivity-centered salary base. The reason is it is killing a kind of a team spirit in the organization. So what they are suggesting is, a close audits related to the customer satisfaction. They are moving to the next levels of management, total quality management, etc., which the government has to adopt. So these are the myths and these are the explanations given. It can be a very good article for the public administration, students, pay and service conditions under the personal administration. And the next is about control over the social media. Now, the social media is the major medium that is disrupting the civic order whenever a particular movement comes into existence. Or, for example, whenever there is a violence in the society, this social media is becoming a tool to spread the particular rumor mill, etc. You talk about the Muzaffarpur violence. If you talk about Bangalore or rumors against the northeastern people in Bangalore, all these were spread using the social media, including the Patidar movement. It was with social media. Now, when in the emergency a law and order has to be brought in, does the government has control over these people? Because the social media, they are technology giants located in the United States of America, and they are regulated by the local laws over there. So in these circumstances, the government and its agencies are unable to come in contact with these tech giants. And the second thing is, the social media companies, they hide under the privacy documents of their own in revealing the names of these particular people. So in these circumstances, what the government is doing is, it is going for a blanket control over the internet or stopping the internet as a whole, which is decreasing or causing a huge financial loss. And the second thing the government is demanding is, they shall have their servers located in India. It means there shall be data localization. So these are the two things which are suggested by the government, but both of them, they are not going to be very much useful. So a sound negotiation, a framework, a policy, that is what is necessary at this point of hour. And a friendly signal, we all know that the minimum alternate tax, it was levied on the capital gains made by the foreign institutional investors and portfolio investors. But the income tax departments have given notices to many 80 plus companies on this thing. It has doomed the sentiments of the foreign investors considering India as a country which imposes retrospective taxes. If you see Vodafone, all these have deemed or doomed the sentiments of investors in India. Now the government clearly said that the MAT will not apply for the capital gains on stock exchanges. So, and the second thing is another thing which can kill the sentiment of the investors is related to P notes. Recently, SIT also has demanded for the government steps on regulating the P notes because P notes are becoming a source towards bringing the black money into our economy. So that is the reason why the know your client norms shall also be applied to the P notes. Because if you talk about Cayman Islands, just 55,000 of population, it is able to invest 85,000 crores into Indian economy. That shows the height of the black money, how it is being pumped back into our economy through P notes. So these are the things which we need to consider. So this is about fifth newspaper. Thank you very much.